All right, let's talk about budgeting. Just month to month. I use is what I usually like to do for myself personally. So, first things first, is just list. Go for the month. First thing you want to do is just list individually your monthly expenses. What do I mean? List out each individual expenses one by one. You can either do this on a piece of paper. My handwriting is actually atrocious, so I like to use Excel. But if you're just a pen and paper kind of person, that's just fine. It does the same thing. You just list your expenses one by one: rent, utilities, food, gas in your car insurance, cell phone, things like that. Okay, I'm seriously saying every single expense, including your fun money. Okay, it's called a zero-based budget. Before you make the money, you give every single dollar a name until it goes to zero. All right, until you're left with nothing. So you've got all those expenses that you need to live. You've got what your expenses are for your fun money, and then maybe you've got some savings under that until you get to zero. Give every dollar a name. Be in control of your money. Don't let your money control you. Doing a budget is a way to control your money, okay? So once you get that listed out for the month, all your expenses, a zero-based budget, you give every single dollar a name. What I like to do personally is I like to take every single month and base it off of a 4-week month. Okay? Now, most months do have only 4 weeks in them, but there's some months with 5 weeks in them. And let's say you get paid weekly. What I like to do is I like to take my monthly expenses and break it down. I pay myself weekly. What I like to do is I like to take my monthly expenses, break it down into those monthly expenses based off of a 4-week month. So what I'm saying is that let's say rent is $800 on a 4-week month. That's $200 a week every single week that you put away for rent. Okay, if you get paid weekly. If you get paid bi-weekly, still base it off of a 4-week month, and you'll see why in a second. Base it off of a 4-week month, so 2 paychecks in that month, right? And then it would be out of every single check you get, $400 if your rent's $800, $400 going into your savings for your rent. Okay, so the reason why I like to do this is two things. Is it makes your living expenses not seem all that bad, okay? Have you ever just like came to the end of the month and rent's due and it's like, oh crap, I gotta put my whole paycheck towards rent this month, right? And then all of a sudden you're literally left with no money from that check. You're tapping into savings. So what this does is if you do your monthly expenses and then break it down by your pay period, weekly or bi-weekly, this you chunking money away every single paycheck. So then when you do get that check, it's $200 for a weekly person, and then you've got that 800. You're not sitting here scrambling for one check to get that 800. Does that make sense? Okay. And then so that's one reason I like to break it down. Monthly expenses broken down into your pay period. The second reason is because when the month comes around in which there are 5 weeks in it, so if your weekly pay period you get 5 paychecks, or if you're bi-weekly you get 3 paychecks, is if you always figure in a 4-week month, you will have a whole extra paycheck with all of your expenses covered already, and that whole check will just be yours. Your bills will be paid. You ate. Everything's paid for. You got your normal amount that you set for fun money, and this whole check is yours in that extra week. You can save it, save half of it, so on and so forth. The point is that it gives you that extra entire paycheck when that 5-week month comes around, okay? So that's another reason why I like to base the monthly expenses off of a 4-week month and not actually what it is, 4.5 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever. So list them out, break it down per pay period, okay? And then every single paycheck, put that away. Boom, 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 off of a 4-week month. then when you do get that extra paycheck for the month, it's all yours. Everything's already paid for. You own it. Good job. Congratulations, right? So that's a little tip, and that's kind of how I do my budgeting.